grade 12 learners, welcome to today's geography lesson. My name is Nomthandazo Malembe. This lesson is brought to you by the Northern Cape Department of Education in collaboration with Pagama Research and Development. So today, learners, we are focusing on the South African industrial regions. But before we start with our lesson, I just want us to go through our lesson objective. By the end of this lesson, the learners, you should be able to know what are the South African's core or main industrial regions. We're going to look at the 2 prescribed industrial regions for this year. All in all, there are 4, but you need to know thoroughly the 2 that will be in question this year. Then we're going to look at the factors influencing the location of the prescribed industrial region, and also you need to know the main industrial activities in the prescribed industrial regions. Then we want to focus on the factors that favor as well as the factors that hinder to the continued success of the 2 prescribed region. And then lastly, we'll be looking at the economic as well as the social impact of the 2 industrial regions. Then we're going to go through our pre-knowledge baseline. You will remember in grade 8 in social science when we were learning about the trade as well as transport. There was a reason for the trade as well as the links between the trade as well as the transport. So looking at the reason, hence today we are looking at the South African industries, which it's linked between the trade as well as the trade and the transport. So in grade 8, they said the reason for the trade. So people get things they need by trading. You need gold. As South Africa, I'm making an example, we are rich in gold. There are countries that do not have gold, so they are depending on South Africa to give them that gold. So there is an exchange or there is a trading that is taking on. So today, trade, it involves money as well as the transport, and there are different kinds of trade. So when we're talking about the trade, the first one, we're talking about the trade between the individuals, between me and you. We are selling something, so it's between the individuals. Then secondly, there is a regional trade. There is one item or one goods or one service that is in another province, and another province, they need it. That is a regional trade. And then we're looking at the international trade now between other countries. We call it an international trade. Remember, we learned this in grade 8. Then we're looking at the links between the trade as well as the transport. Where do they link? We use the different kinds of transports to move the goods or the people between the places. So there is the link between the trade as well as the transport. In order for us to be able to trade, we need a transport so that we can transport whatever goods or whatever material or whatever service that is needed. So there is a link between what? A trade as well as the transport. So let us look at our baseline assessment. Use the pre-knowledge baseline and your own knowledge to answer the following questions. You've got 3 questions. The first one, you explain the reason for trade. Why are they trading or why are we trading? Then secondly, the 3 types of trading. Then number 3, you account for the link between the trade as well as the transport. So you have 3 questions. I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and then after 3 minutes, we will be able to proceed to the solutions. Looking there at our solutions, our first question is we're supposed to explain the reason for trade. So people get things they need by trading. We are selling amongst each other. Then number 2, you give 3 types of trading. We've got the individual trade. We have the regional trade as well as the international trade. Then number 3, to account, remember you need to explain for the link between the trade as well as your transport. We use the different kinds of transport to move goods or people between the places. That is the link between the two. Then we're going to look at our terminology. So in our first terminology, we're looking at the over concentration. Remember, we are talking about South African industries. So over concentration, the state of having too much. So we can have the over concentration of industries, the over concentration of activities. So the state of having too much of something or too many things or the people is regarded as the over concentration. Then secondly, we're looking at the conglomerates. So conglomerates are the things consisting of several, which means too many, consisting of several different and distinct parts or items that are grouped together. Remember, there is a link between your overconcentration as well as your conglomerate. Then, thirdly, we're looking at the interlink. We are talking about trading here, so there's supposed to be an interlink. Interlink is a join or is a connect between the two or more things. Then we're looking at our industrial regions in South Africa. I said we have 4 major industrial regions in South Africa. Amongst those 4, you need to know their names. Where are they located? Then you need to know thoroughly the 2 that will be examined this year. So our first one, we have PWV or Gauteng. Remember, PWV is an abbreviation. So you need to know what does PWV means or stands for and where is it located. So it is located in Gauteng. Then secondly, you have your Durban Pinetown or eThekwini Industrial Region. So where is it located? It is located in KwaZulu-Natal. Then number 3, we have your Port Elizabeth ATMH, the one that we call PE. Now it is no longer called PE, but it is called Gqeberha. So where is it located again? In the Eastern Cape Province. Then lastly, we have your Southwestern Cape Industrial Region. Where is it located? It is located in the Southwestern Cape. So remember I said your PWV, you're supposed to know what does it stand for. Then we're going to start with their location. Where are they located? We said PWV, which is the first one, is located in Gauteng, as you can see there in the map of South Africa. Then the second leading one is the one that is located in KwaZulu-Natal. We call it Durban Pinetown. Then your number 3, we have our Port Elizabeth ATMH, the PE. Where is it located? In the Eastern Cape. Then we have the 4th one, which is our Southwestern Cape. Where is it located? In the Western Cape. So these are the 4 industrial regions that carry South Africa, or these are the engines of South Africa, because most of the industries are from these provinces, and these are the provinces that are generating more income for South Africa. Remember, we have 9 provinces, but amongst those 9 provinces, there are 4 major ones that have more activities and that is bringing more income into the country. Then I said to you, you're supposed to know what does PWV stands for. So PWV, it stands for Pretoria, Witwatersrand, as well as Vaal. Some of the textbook, they will say Vereeniging. So Vereeniging as well as Vaal, it's still one and the same. So you can use Vaal or you can use Vereeniging. But your Pretoria, Witwatersrand, it stands as it is. Then for the V, you can use Vereeniging or you can use Vaal. So your PWV is one of the prescribed regions for this year, which means you need to know thoroughly this region. So we've already indicated that it is located in Gauteng. So for 1 mark, they can say, what does PWV stands for? So by now you should start practicing your Pretoria, Witwatersrand, Vaal, or Pretoria, Witwatersrand, Vereeniging. So it is also known as a Gauteng Industrial Region. Again, the examiner can ask, the PWV is also known as what? They are known as the Gauteng Industrial Region. Then secondly, they are located in a Gauteng province. Then number 3, it is a significant area. Why significant area in South Africa? Because it is known as its diversified manufacturing sector. Remember, we can have the raw material, but the raw material, they have less value as the one that is manufactured into a final product. So therefore, because of their diversified, which means there are so many industries that are dealing with the manufacturing sector, which means now the Gauteng becomes what? A significant area in South Africa. Then we're also looking at it produces more than 50% of the country's manufactured exports. Remember, we are dealing with the exports in order for us to earn that foreign income. So we need to export more. So as a country, the 50% of what we are exporting, it is coming from your PWV. So hence it is the number one engine when it comes to the income generation for South Africa. Then we're going to look at the second one. The second one for this year is Durban Pinetown. So remember the first one, it's your PWV, your Witwatersrand, Vereeniging or Vaal. Then the second one, it's your Durban Pinetown. So Durban Pinetown, we are saying it is located in KwaZulu-Natal province. Secondly, it is a second largest industrial area in South Africa. Remember the first one, it's your PWV, because it is exporting more than 50%. Then the second one, which is the second largest, it's your Durban Pinetown. Then number 3, Durban Pinetown also, it is also known as the leisure for tourism. So if you want to go to the holiday, you think of Durban because it has so many beautiful as well as aesthetic areas in that region. So therefore, they're also contributing more in terms of the tourism because that area is visited a lot. Then we're also looking at another significance, it's the harbor. So with the harbor, they are able to do the international trading. So the PWV, as it is number 1, but they do not have harbor. So where are they depending? They are depending in the other 3 regions, which is your Durban Pinetown, your PE, as well as your Southwestern Cape, because those 3 regions, they have harbors. So they are able to transport or they are able to export in bulk using these regions. Then they also have the variety of industries. If they have the variety of industries, it also means that this region, it is also creating employment. So you remember they create employment through tourism. They create employment through the harbor. They create employment through these various industries. So there are a lot of job opportunities that are being created in this region. Then we're looking at our first activity. You answer the following questions based on the 2 prescribed industrial regions in South Africa. The first one, what does PWV stand for? Then secondly, you explain why PWV is a significant area. Then number 3, how many percent is produced by PWV for the country's manufactured exports? Then number 4, in which province is PWV located? Number 5, the Southwestern Cape, is it a first or is it a second largest industrial area? Then your Southwestern Cape region is known as, is it a gold hub or is it a leisure tourism? So remember, with the other 2 regions, you can get them in one-word answers, but the one for 15 marks, it will be based on your PWV as well as your Durban Pinetown. So you have 6 questions. I'm going to give you 6 minutes, 1 minute per question, and then after 6 minutes, we will come back with the solutions. Grade 12, I hope we are all done. So looking at our first question, what does PWV stands for? Remember in geography, even though we are not marking the spelling, but please try to make sure that the marker can see what you were writing. Like for PWV, it's Pretoria, Witwatersrand, Vaal. Remember for V, you can also use Vereeniging. Then secondly, explain why PWV is a significant area. It is a significant area because it is known for its diversified manufacturing sector. Then number 3, how many percent is produced by PWV for the country's manufactured exports? It's 50%. Then we're looking at in which province is PWV located. It is located in Gauteng. Then your Southwestern Cape, it is known as the second largest, just like your Durban Pinetown, because it has a harbour. So they are all the second largest. Then your Southwestern Cape, it is known for its leisure tourism. Again, just like your Durban Pinetown and your Southwestern Cape, if you want to go for a holiday in South Africa, you think of those 2 regions. It's either it's Durban Pinetown or it's Southwestern Cape. Then we're going to look at the factors that influencing the PWV. So number 1, we are saying the PWV Gauteng region has developed into your conglomerate as a result of the industrial development, because there are so many minerals that has been discovered in this region. So therefore, there are so many industries again that have developed in this region. So therefore, it becomes what we call a conglomerate. Then secondly, we're looking at this is a vast area of industrial development with a number of interlinked, remember interlinked towns as well as the cities that function as a single economic hub. So there is a link. Where is the link? The PWV, it has more minerals or more raw material, and also there is more industries that are processing or manufacturing these industries. And then after that, it's supposed to be transported. That's where the interlink comes in. Then we're looking at a variety of raw materials that are found in this region. I've already mentioned that most of the minerals are also found in this region. And also this region attracts a lot of people. Hence, there is a large population in this region. So therefore, if there is a large population in this region, it means there is an availability of the labor force as well. We're talking about the skilled labor as well as your semi-skilled labor, because this region not only attracts the locals or the citizens, even the foreign nationals, they are also attracted to come in this region. Then we're looking at the factors that favor the location of this PWV, because we cannot just say we're going to create an industrial region in this area or in this province. There's supposed to be factors that will favor its location. So number 1, the good transport network. Remember we said even though the PWV doesn't have a harbor, but when it comes to the infrastructure, it is well developed. So a good transport network in terms of the road, the railway, as well as the air in PWV. So they are able to transport their goods or services through this, beside the one that's supposed to be in a bulk international. Then they use a harbor. Then there is a well linked with other regions of South Africa, especially the harbors. Remember, I've said these two, they are rich in these 3 modes. Then when it comes to the international, because they are linked, there is a road from a PWV that can link into the PE, and there is a road again, or the railway that can link straight to your Durban Pinetown or straight to your Southwestern Cape. So it is linked very well with the harbour. Then we're looking at the raw material that is available as well as the large market. In terms of the large market, we're talking about locally as well as internationally. And when it comes to the raw materials, remember there's an abundance of the minerals that are found underground or that can be extracted for free. And remember, these raw materials, they are natural materials, so they do not spend in creating this raw material. They are there naturally. Then we're looking at, we said this region, it attracts a lot of people, so there's a high population in this area. In that being said, there has a skilled labor that is available. They do not have to outsource because a lot of people are interested in this region. It has the largest population amongst the core industrial region as well as the provinces. With that being said, with the largest population, even when it comes to the government allocation, because Gauteng, it has more population, they are also allocated more in terms of the services. There is a large power station in PWV. Remember, they are next to the coal industries. If they are next to the coal industries, your large station like your Eskom, which generates the electricity, so it is also nearby. We're talking about the mines that are closer, which is the large coal mines in Mpumalanga. They are also closer to the PWV. Then we're looking at the significance of water supply. Remember, these industries, they need water again to manufacture or to process, as well as when it comes to the machine cooling. So they need a lot of water. So in PWV, there is a project that is specifically looking at the water supply in this region. That project, it is called a TUVA project. The water supply supplement by the water project, it is called a TUVA project. So this is Utukela Val project. So we're looking also, it has high or it has mainly tertiary education institution. And we're talking about the universities, we're talking about the colleges, we're talking about the training facilities that are found in this region. Whence makes there is a skilled labor, because as soon as they are done or they've graduated in this institution, they're also looking for the employment locally, so they do not suffer when it comes to the labor force. And they benefit because they get the skilled people because of the universities that are being offered in this region. Then also the relatively flat land. Remember, geographically, when it comes to the relief, it is much cheaper or easier to construct on a land that is flat as compared to the land that is steeper. So PWV, most of its land, it is flat. So therefore, and also it is available for construction, and also it is affordable. So it also becomes a favoring factor. Then our activity, it says, answer the questions based on the factors that favor the location of PWV. The first question, you name the 3 networks that can be accessed, the transport networks that can be accessed or available in PWV. Remember, they do not have all the transport networks, but there is the 3 that is accessed or available. Then your PWV is linked with other regions because of one specific reason. You give that reason. Then number 3, you name the project that supplies water in PWV. Then number 4, you explain why it is easier to construct the industries in the PWV. Then number 5, in a paragraph question, you discuss the factors, discuss. I will always emphasize on this because I want you to stay away from using 2-3 words. Then you think you have done your paragraph question, because you're supposed to discuss further the factors that favor the location of PWV. 4 times 2, we need 4 responses that will give you 8 marks. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to work on these 5 questions, because there's a paragraph question, so that you can be able to discuss your point thoroughly when it comes to the factors that favor the location of PWV. Then after 10 minutes, we will be able to proceed to the corrections. Looking there at our first question, we are supposed to name the 3 transport networks. We're talking about the road, there is a rail, as well as there is an air. Then the PWV is linked with the other regions because of one specific reason. It's because they do not have harbor. So therefore, they depending on the 3 regions for them to be able to transport or export internationally. Then number 3, you name the project that supplies water in PWV. We call it a TUVA project. Then number 4, you explain why it is easier to construct industries in PWV. Because PWV, the relief is flat, or you say because of the gentle slope, or the area is flat. So therefore, it is easier to construct. Then we're looking at your paragraph question. You're supposed to discuss the factors that favor the location of PWV. Then number 1, we're looking at the good transport network. Remember, after discovering those minerals and after manufacturing or processing them into a final product, they're supposed to be transported. So with the PWV having a good transport network, it becomes a favoring factor. Then we're looking at the well linked with other regions when it comes to the international transportation. We're also looking at the PWV. We said the most of the minerals or a lot of raw material are found in this region. Then we're also looking at with the more people who are attracted in this region because of its high population. So therefore, it becomes easier for them to get the skilled labor. And also, remember, we said these industries, they also have the institution of the higher learning institution. So therefore, these people, they are going to be trained in this region, and also they are going to look for the employment in this region. Hence, they have the skilled labor that is available. Then we're looking at the factors that hinder the location of the PWV. So number 1, the over-concentration of industries. Remember, we said there are so many minerals or raw material that are found in this region, which means now it's going to attract a lot of industries. So there will be an over-concentration. There are too many industries in one region. Remember, the industries, again, they also contribute towards pollution. So if there is so many industries in that area, it means even the level of pollution is also high. Then we're looking at the strain on resources. We are saying there are so many industries that need electricity because the technology is advanced now. They are using the machines that use electricity, and they are manufacturing or processing. So they need water to manufacture. They need water to cool their machines. So therefore, their resources like water and electricity, they become overused. Then we're talking about the load shedding again, which increase the cost of electricity. Now these industries are forced to supplement the electricity in terms of buying the generators. It's also another cost. Then we're looking at the strain on transport infrastructure. Remember, they do not have a harbor. So therefore, they depending on the trucks to transport their goods or their material into the harbor destination. So what does it mean? It means there will always be a traffic in Gauteng roads because of so many trucks that are transporting towards the harbor. So it becomes overused. Hence, yes, we do have the good network transport when it comes to roads, but now you find that those roads, there are a lot of potholes because of the transportation that is done every day. Then we're looking at the PWV industrial region. It is far from the harbors again. If it's far, it is creating more expenses. Then we're looking at the industries, especially the heavy industries that create a lot of pollution. I've already touched on this point. As much as we need the industry so that we can generate income, so that people can be employed, but with a lot of those industries, it also comes a pollution. A pollution, it also becomes a problem because it's risking the health of the people. Then we're looking at the labor unrest as well as the protest. Again, in these industries, each and every year, they're supposed to renew their contract, they're supposed to negotiate their salary, wages. So sometimes it becomes so strenuous that they need to go for the protest or they need to go for strike. So it also becomes a hindering factor because if they are in those talks, they now there is no production in that day until they come into agreement, which it can take even a week or even a month without any production if there is no agreement. Then we're looking at our activity. In our activity, you answer the following questions based on the factors that are hindering the PWV region. Number one, define the term over concentration. Then secondly, you mention two resources that are strained in PWV. Then number three, in a paragraph question, you discuss the factors. You discuss the factors that hindering the location of PWV. So I'm going to give you 7 minutes. In that 7 minutes, 2 minutes for question 1 and 2, and then 5 minutes is for your paragraph question because I want you to develop that paragraph writing. I want you to have more skilled in writing these paragraph questions because you know for sure that you have grabbed all the 8 marks. So discuss the factors that are hindering the location of PWV. After 7 minutes, we will come back with the correction. Welcome back. I hope we are all done. So looking there at our first question where we're supposed to define what is over concentration. We are talking about the state of having too much of something or too many things or people. So they're in one area. Then secondly, you mentioned two resources that are strained in PWV. We're talking about water supply as well as power supply, or one might say electricity supply. It's also one thing. So those are the two resources that are overly strained in PWV. Then in a paragraph question, you were supposed to discuss the factors that hindering the location of PWV. Number one is the load shedding as well as the increasing cost of electricity. So during the load shedding, you know that load shedding, it can take between 2 up until 6 hours. For those industries that cannot afford to have the generators, even those companies who can afford to have generators, that money it also pulling out on their profit. So therefore, it becomes a hindering factor when it comes to the production because they're now supposed to wait until the electricity is back, or they're supposed to spend more on generators. Remember, generators, they run through diesel. So they're supposed to buy a generator, they're supposed to buy a diesel. Then the strain on transport infrastructure. Infrastructure, it becomes damaged because of too many trucks that are transporting, because of too many cars that are being used on the road, which also lead into traffic. As it leading into traffic, it also delays their production, because you will find that those trucks or those cars, they will be stuck in traffic for a long time in order for them to reach their destination. So it's also a time consuming. Then we're talking about the PWV industrial region that is far from the harbor. Again, they're supposed to use the trucks as well as the cars in order for them to transport to those harbors. And also, it's another expense that is added in those industries in the PWV. Then we're talking about the industries, especially the heavy industry, are more located in PWV, which increases the chance of pollution in that area. Then we have talked about the labor unrest as well as the protest, how it hinders the production and how it hinders the profit of the industry or the profit of the company. Remember, if the company is receiving less profits, it means again they're going to pay less or contribute less towards the tax, and that can also lead into a decrease of our GDP. Then we're also looking at the main industries or activities in the PWV. Remember these two prescribed industrial regions, you need to know thoroughly, because the examiner can choose any part. They can choose the factors to ask about, and they can also choose the main industrial activities. So what industries are you going to find there? The main industries in the PWV, we're talking about the iron and steel products. We're talking about the engineering products, which is the aviation. We're talking about the chemical products in terms of Sasol. It is found in this region. We're talking about the motor car assembly plants, which is Ford, that was found in this region. We're talking about the cosmetics, which is Apex Clothing, as well as manufacturers. So these are the industries or activities or the companies or the factories that are found in this region. Then we're looking at the economic as well as the social impact in the PWV. The industries, they contribute money to the GDP of our country. Remember, there are so many activities or there are so many industries, which means a lot of money is generated through these industries, because they are also contributing towards our tax, which is going to boost our GDP. And we're looking at the industries and a foreign exchange. Remember, most of these industries are listed in the JSE. So if they are listed in the JSE, the JSE is competing with the international market. So therefore, they are also an earner of the foreign exchange. Then we're looking at the money that is earned through the exports. It increases the earnings of the regions. Hence, even on the government budget, your PWV or your Gauteng, it is receiving more money because it is the one that is generating more income. Then we're looking at the local people as well as the rest of the country, which is both skilled as well as unskilled. They benefit by getting the employment in this region. Remember, we said this is the region that is attracting a lot of people. Why? Because there is a lot of employment opportunities. The region, it also serves as a market to the local raw material. Not only it is focusing on the international, but at the local level as well. Some companies, they reinvest in the communities. There are companies who are giving out bursaries every day or every year. There are companies also who are providing the skills development so that these communities or these people, they can be able to empower themselves. So there are also companies who are donating, maybe in a children's home or in whatsoever, the old age home. So there are so many things that are giving back in terms of the communities. Then we're looking at the factors that are influencing the location of the DPT. So your DPT is your Durban Pinetown. So number one, The Durban Harbour is the largest and it is the busiest in South Africa. A lot of goods are being received, a lot of goods are coming out through that harbour. So it is the one that is the busiest. Then we're looking at there is a large labor force again because it is able to create more employment. Remember the region or the area that is able to create employment. It will attract a lot of people. So therefore, there will be a labor force that will be available. Then we're looking at the abundance of supply of water. Remember these industries, we said they require a lot of water. So in the Durban Pinetown, there is an abundance of the water supply. They do not even have to create the water scheme. The water is readily available. Plus, it's on the eastern side of the country. The eastern side of the country where it is influenced by your South Indian. Remember, those are the areas that are wet, so they receive rainfall regularly. They doesn't have to wait for the rainy season. Then there is a well-developed transport networks. So when you're talking about transport networks, all the modes are covered, be it a road mode, a air, as well as the water. So all the modes are covered. Then there's access to the local as well as overseas market. Remember the industries in the Durban Pinetown, they do not spend more money transporting their goods to the harbour because they are nearby. So there is a lot of access when it comes to the local as well as into the international market. But now we're looking at the factors again that is favoring. The harbour becomes the factor. The abundance of labor, it becomes the factor. Your developed transport network, it becomes a factor. So by what I'm trying to say, if the examiner is asking about the factors that influence the location, or if the examiner is asking about the factors that favor, so you still use the same points. You cannot hinder yourself by saying, if I've already answered with the same points. If they are asking about the factors that influences, you also using the same points. If they are asking about the factors that favor, you also use the same points because they are still there. Your abundance of labor, your developed transport network, your availability of electricity, which is the power, as well as the water supply. It's also the factors that are favoring. Then we're looking at the factors that are hindering. Number one, we're looking at the limited household level of production in terms of agriculture and other primary sector. Then we're looking at the high levels of unemployment to support the industrial development, even though there are those activities or there are those industries. But now, because of the high population, the number of employment, it is less than what the population is. So there is also a high level of unemployment. Then we're looking at the low household income levels. Remember, if there is a high unemployment level, which means even the income in the household is less. So therefore, the lesser the income, the lesser the buying power. Then we're looking at the limited access to the social facilities. Even if we said the Durban Pinetown is known for tourism and leisure, but if these people are unemployed, it means now they can never be able or they can never afford to attend these social facilities, whatever activities that are found in this area, you will find that it will not be supported fully because people are not working. Then we're looking at the limited transport infrastructure again, even though there is a well-developed infrastructure, but that well-developed infrastructure is not matching the one that's supposed to be because of there is more industries and there are more cars that are being used in those industries. So when it comes to the infrastructure, remember even water and electricity, it also becomes an issue because of more population or more people who are using them. Then we're looking at the activity. In the activity, what does PDT stands for? Then number 2, you name the province where PDT is located. Then number 3, account for the factors influencing the location of PDT, 2 times 2. Again, remember we said read the mark allocation so that you know for sure how many responses you're supposed to give. Then number 4, you describe the factors that favor the location of PDT, 3 times 2. 3 responses that will give you the total of 6 marks. So I'm going to give you 7 minutes to answer these 4 questions, and then after 7 minutes, we will be able to proceed to your corrections. Grade 12, I hope we are all done. So looking there at our first question, you were supposed to tell what does PDT stands for. It stands for Durban Pinetown. Then your second question, the province where Durban Pinetown is located, which is KwaZulu-Natal. Then number 3, you account for the factors that influencing the location of your Durban Pinetown. Number 1 is a well-built infrastructure, the availability of raw material, your international seaport, as well as your leisure tourism. Remember, one can say there's an availability of harbor, availability of labor force, availability of water and electricity supply. It is also the factors that influencing it is also correct. Then we're looking at the 4th question. You describe the factors that are favoring the location of your Durban Pinetown. Number 1 is the harbor facilities in Durban, the abundance of labor, your developed transport networks, as well as the available electrical energy, which is power. Then in our next activity, you refer to the case study on the Durban Pinetown region below, and you answer the questions, the case study on the manufacturing sector in the Durban Pinetown region. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to read through the extract on your own. It's about the manufacturing sector in the Durban Pinetown, and then after 3 minutes, we will be able to see what's the questions. And then remember, even when it comes to the exam, start by reading the extract so that you understand what is the extract about. Then you go to the questions, and you are going to the question, you will realize that if the question, especially those questions that says according to the article or quote from the article, because you have read the article before, it's unlike going to the question, then now you are trying to check the answers, but read the extract thoroughly and understand what the extract is all about. So your 3 minutes to read the extract starts now. Then, looking at our questions, we only have 3 questions. The first one, where will you rank Durban Pinetown in terms of the industrial output in South Africa? Then secondly, quote evidence. Remember, quote evidence, you're supposed to take it directly from the extract. So quote evidence from the passage to show that secondary economic activities make a big contributions to the GDP. Remember, you are not just quoting any sentence you come across, but you need to link it with that is going to show that the secondary economic activities make a big contributions to the GDP. Then number 3, in a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, you discuss the positive impact of the Durban Pinetown industrial region on the economic development in KwaZulu-Natal, 4 times 2. Remember, discuss, you need to give a full answer. You give a fact, then you support it. How is it becoming a positive impact in the development of KwaZulu-Natal? So again, I'm going to give you 6 minutes to work on these questions, and then after 6 minutes, we will be able to proceed to the corrections. Girls and boys, looking at our first question, where will you rank Durban Pinetown in terms of the industrial output in South Africa? Remember, we said Durban Pinetown is the second largest industrial region. So therefore, you can rank it as the second because the first one is the PWV. Then secondly, you are supposed to quote evidence from the passage to show that secondary economic activities make a big contributions to the GDP. The manufacturing sector is geared for exports, or one can say with nearly a third of South Africa's manufactured export being produced in KZN. Then in a paragraph, you are supposed to discuss the positive impact. Remember the positive impact, those are the factors that favor. So more employment opportunities are created. Remember, there are different activities, there are different industries in this area. Then reduction in poverty due to people being employed. Remember, we're talking about in terms of the development, economic development in KwaZulu-Natal. Then the greater income results in an improved standard of living. As more people are employed, it means they will be able to afford themselves. They will be able to afford their families. So the standard of living will be improved. The KZN home market will increase. Remember, we are looking at the local level. So it will increase the strength as people have more money, increasing in the export as well as the goods will be okay. Then the increase also in the foreign income as the export also increase. Then we're looking at the high, this encourages the growth of the GDP in terms of KwaZulu-Natal, and then the high level of industrialization that attracts the foreign investment. Remember, if the area or the region is able to attract the foreigners or the investors, especially those ones with a different currency, it means now there will be more opportunities that will be created. A lot of people will be benefiting, not only the people, but even the region itself in terms of the income or the generation of the income in terms of the GDP, it will also increase. Then we're looking at the main industries that you can find at Durban Pinetown. We're looking at your automotive, we're talking about the cars, the chemicals as well as the plastic. We're talking about food and beverages, your clothing and footwear as well as textile. Mostly it's from these regions. We're talking about the paper as well as paper products. We're talking about the printing as well as the publishing, your metal products as well as your wool products. And there are other industries. So you can see that the industry is very broad in terms of the activities. So therefore, even the employment is going to be broad. Then we're looking at the activity. In this activity, you name the core industrial region labeled number 1 and number 3. Then secondly, what is the largest core industrial region in South Africa? Then number 3, you discuss one factor that has contributed to the core industrial region number 1 being prepared as the destination for international investors. Remember, I said to you in the beginning of the lesson, you're supposed to know the name of the regions. You're supposed to know where are they located. So as you see in this activity now, they are just referring to the numbers. So as you discuss the region number 1, the region number 3. So it is important that you know their names and you know their where they are located. So you have 3 questions. I'm just going to give you 3 minutes, and then after 3 minutes, we proceed to the corrections. Looking looking there at our first correction or solution, you name the core industrial region labeled 1 and 3. So 1, it's PWV. Then number 3, it's your Southwestern Cape. Then secondly, what is the largest core industrial area in South Africa? The core industrial, the largest, remember we said it's PWV. Or those ones who wrote number 1, it's also correct. Then your number 3, you were supposed to discuss one factor that has contributed to the core industrial region number 1 being a preferred destination for international investors. Why? Because there is a wide variety of raw material. So which means the international investors will be investing in something that can be useful. Then there are so many people who are being attracted in this region. So what does it mean? It means the labor force is catered for in terms of your skilled as well as your semi-skilled labor. We're talking about a well-developed infrastructure. We said after discovering those raw material or minerals, it is turned into a good or into a product that's supposed to be transported. So with a well-developed infrastructure, it will become a international investor. Then access to water resources is more favorable. Remember, we said in this region, there is a water scheme that is taking care or that is making sure that this province or that this region, it has water. Then in your number 4, you're going to have it as a homework. With your homework, you're still using the very same diagram. You write a paragraph of approximately 8 lines explaining how energy provision and labor will become a major challenge. So the energy provision as well as labor in terms of the people who are working, skilled or semi-skilled, will become a challenge that the industrial region number 1 will experience in processing the copper in the next years. 4 times 2. Again, 4 responses that is going to give you 8 marks. So explaining. You are not stating, but you are explaining. So this is your homework for today. So we're moving right along to summarize on what we have learned so far. We have looked into the South Africa's core as our main industrial region. We have looked into the 2 prescribed industrial region that will be in question this year. The factors that influencing the location of this prescribed industrial region, as well as the main activities that are found in this prescribed industrial region. We have looked into the factors that favor as well as the factors that hinder the success of the 2 prescribed regions. And then lastly, we have looked into the economic as well as the social impact of the 2 industrial regions. To give you the preview of our next lesson, we want to focus on the strategies for industrial development. So we're going to look at the overview of the apartheid industrial development, which is the Good Hope strategy that was used. We're going to look at the overview, post-apartheid industrial development, which is the RDP as well as the GEAR. We're going to look at the industrial development zones, the ones that we call IDZ. We'll be looking at the special development initiatives, the one that we call SDI. Remember, there are so many IDZ as well as the SDI. Then we're going to focus more on the prescribed IDZ as well as your SDI. So we have came to an end of our lesson today. Hopefully you have enjoyed the lesson, but most of all, I hope you have learned. Thank you and stay tuned for the next lesson.